Okay, now you've filled your holes and you smoothed out some of the areas of your model. Some of the things that you might want to do is just do some things that make some slight improvements upon your model. And let's look at the model in wireframe, and it's very dense mesh. And this is laid out pretty nicely, but sometimes your models aren't. The tessellation isn't even all the way around. And one of the things that you can do to fix that is to come over into your polish area and do a global remesh, and that will equalize the distribution of of the triangles within your model, and also fuse it if you need to fuse it into a single model. You can do that, and I'm going to turn on make clean and solid mesh just in case there was any holes left in the model, which I don't think there are. And I'm going to do a global remesh on this model. I'll pause while it does that. Okay, and here's our global remesh. And if we were to go in and look at our wireframe, not that you'll really be able to tell, but they are distributed more evenly and cleanly. It just provides a better mesh flow, and also more than anything else, if you have overlapping meshes, it'll fuse them into a single mesh, which is often very useful. Okay. Now the next thing that we want to do, since we're cleaning things up, let's run a healing wizard and find any defects that may exist in our model, and it'll tell us right here if there aren't any. We have a few small clusters, and so let's clean that up. We have a few small clusters right there. We'll get that knocked out so that we have a nice clean model. And so that now our model is clean, now would be a good time to begin doing some outputs. Okay, and I'm going to show you how we can use the simplify, nay, decimate command to output different resolutions of our model. And so here, if we come over here to our mesh right here, and we open that up, we'll note that our model has 574,000 triangles in it. Okay, and what we can do is that we can come over here and using our polish simplify tool, we can decimate using our poly count. So one of the first things that we might want to do is we might want to have one that's 250,000. Okay, and what we then do is that we'll check that through. Okay, and it's decimating the model. And once completed, it'll produce a lower poly version of the model at about 43%. Okay, and this is the model now at 250K. And it's not that big a difference, right? But it's half the size, and this is like a high resolution, medium high resolution ZBrush model. And here, what I would do if I wanted to save this, you always have to check this right here to institute the change right here. And then you can come over here and do a file export, and you can save this as I always do underscore 250K, and so that I have a 250K version of the model. And then what I like to do when I'm doing this, I'm going to output several of them. I'll do an edit undo to go back to my original model size, because I always like to work from the original model size. And now I might produce a lower level version of it, and so I'm going to go back to polish again. I'm going to go to simplify, and in this case I'm going to do a version of the model that is 5,000. I'm going to take extreme steps, or let's go 10,000 because that would be a 10,000K. And you can do it by percentage or by ratio or by poly count. I like using poly count. And while it does this, I'm going to pause. Okay. And this is the resultant triangulated model. And once again, we accept the changes here. And we go over here to a model file, a meshes file. We do an export. And we're going to make that one is our 5K model. And we'll save that. And once saved, we can do an edit, undo, to go back to our full resolution model. And now that we're at our full resolution model, let's go to polish right here. Let's say we wanted to make one for Pepakura, which would be a low poly, low poly model. We'll come to simplify. And in this case, we're going to go down to make the target face count 2,000 polys. And we're going to decimate that. And so, as you can see, using this process, we can create a variety of different expressions of the model that we can do at different resolutions for different purposes, and to make stylistic decisions with before we even bring it into some of our other modeling, before we bring it into any of our other modeling programs that we may like to use, and so it's a really nice tool for those purposes, and that's how you output poly models. Okay, in the next tutorial we're going to talk about how we output surface models.